is what led to their blow up,
Oh my gosh.
according to Pro Football Talk. Former NFL receiver James Jones, who is to me is a massive jackass, said Roethlisberger would make snide remarks to Brown, not just in meetings, but on the practice field too.
Oh my, wow. How soft have some of these people gotten these days?
I have talked to a couple people in the Steelers organization, and they told me this has been lingering on, Jones said. I've been told in meetings Roethlisberger would take shots at AB. Like, I don't got to throw you the ball, and things like that.
Yeah, because I'm sure Ben just blurts that out.
Wednesday in practice, I heard he ran the wrong routes. Big Ben threw the ball on the ground and said, quote, "Get him out of here. Get somebody else in there." And that's when AB was at his boiling point, and that's when went off. Oh, come on.
Very, very, very well dramatic reading there, I must say.
First of all, thank you. I'm up for a Golden Globe next year.
Yes, you're up for a baggie.
And a baggie, yeah. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Donut Bag, part of the Pulse Podcast Network and the PodHub Network. In this episode, I recap Wild Card Weekend with Mark Hagelauer. But first, we talk about the latest in the Antonio Brown Saga. Kind of seems like AB has replaced Le'Veon Bell as a new focal point of all the drama. So I wonder if we're going to spend all of 2019 talking about him. Maybe. Anyway, the Donut Bag starts right now. Well, Wild Card Weekend has concluded, and with me to talk about it is Mark Hagelauer. What is up, sir?
How's it going?
Oh, it's going. It's weird watching football when your playoff football when your team's not in it.
Yeah, and it was, yeah, there were some good defenses playing, but man, it was some lackadaisical offense being played this weekend also.
Well, it makes me wonder, like, all the teams have good defenses. Maybe good defenses might be important in going to the playoffs. I don't know.
Yeah, and it seemed like all the teams with the good offenses were kind of off this week. I mean, not that they're terrible out there.
Yeah,
but, Chargers have a pretty good offense, but the better offense.
The Chiefs don't have a defense at all, so maybe.
Yeah, they're like the one team that. I guess there's some team. Eagles lost some guys. Their defense is pretty good, but Saints, I guess, is you could score on them. They're not. They have a real good run defense, but statistically, I don't know. It's just. The Rams aren't the defense they were last year, even though I think they have the ability to.
But still,
be like a Bears defense,
right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the two best defenses lost. So.
Colin Dunlap said, "Watching the NFL playoffs without the Steelers is like your wife saying you're having pizza for dinner. Then she makes cauliflower crust pizza instead of ordering from a pizza shop.
Oh yeah,
it's still pizza, but really, is it?
Yeah.
So many people are like, this doesn't."
I think during the first game, someone said that I don't know if the Booger guy was doing the game or something from, but he said something about like it just doesn't feel right without the Steelers being in there. It's like you're just missing out.
Oh Booger. But before we talk about the games, let's talk about Antonio Brown, because this is just driving me crazy. First of all, apparently there's a report now that there is a high probability that he's getting traded, despite the ridiculous cap hit. And I believe it. I don't think there's any way they could recover from this. There's no way of mending fences. I think they're way beyond that point. So even though it would be a $21 freaking million cap hit, And they said the move could exhaust between 8 and 10% of the Pittsburgh's available cap space. They're still they're
Yeah,
still going to do it.
I'm not sure about that. I think they're if no one's heard from them, I think they're waiting to hear from him and see maybe where that takes. I don't know, the tone of the conversation, if he really wants to be okay with it, or if he really does want, to see how much better or worse it can be in another city. I don't know, on another team.
We don't. Yeah, that's what we don't know is Antonio Brown's next move. Basically, the last we heard of him was during Tomlin's press conference, where he's hanging out with James Harrison and basically making fun of Tomlin.
Yeah, I mean, without really saying it, although I'm not so sure what they were necessarily laughing about. I don't even remember them saying anything. They were just like, we're going to have an interview. The exclusive interview was about all they said. Although, I guess it was during the press conference. That might have been why they were laughing. But, or maybe they knew he was going to be, his episode of the show was going to be on that night. And he was
maybe that was the exclusive interview.
Who the hippo was, or whatever, Rhino, or whatever silly character he was.
He gave a wonderful interview, but his head was covered by a hippo mask, so you couldn't hear anything.
That's what it was. Now it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you mean? The report that said there's a chance that they might entertain the possibility of trade of the availability of a trade involving Antonio Brown. I've heard
sources say he might get traded or he might not. Okay. Yeah, basically. Well, that clears that up.
yeah. When I read that, I'm like, talk about an update that isn't an update.
Right.
It's basically saying, well, they might.
The same sources said it might rain, or it might be sunny, or it might be cloudy.
Right. Yeah, I think they must have had the Pittsburgh weather people in on that.
The other thing that has developed from this is basically the battle lines have been drawn. You either are Team Ben or Team Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I think you can't be both, or you can't be either. Or
everyone agrees that Tomlin's mostly at fault for allowing him to have his behavior, but this stuff that it's Ben's fault because he was mean to him in meetings or whatever. And I mean, I'm not gonna defend Ben. I'm personally of the belief that he is definitely not at fault here, and we don't know the whole story. And
yeah, I mean, we'll probably never know exactly what happened. That's not gonna really ever come out. And I mean, gosh, even with what Ben said about the incident not happening, I mean, even with even with him going AWOL on the team, Ben was still kind of covering for AB when he said that.
Here's the thing:
he could have went into detail like Ben tends to do a lot of times on his show. I mean, he doesn't really hold back on giving details of things, which drives coaches and I'm sure teammates and fans crazy at times. But I don't know. It's just
I'm not. I mean, nobody's saying that Ben is an angel and that he deserves some of the blame, but for people to say it's all his fault because he was mean to Antonio Brown, give me a freaking break. It's like, well, he said I don't have to throw to you. Maybe he's so freaking frustrated because Antonio Brown just does whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, because he's been given it's been okay so far, so he's not going to feel any repercussions. So why wouldn't he just keep doing what he's doing? And so, I mean, I tweeted out a few times replies to people saying that we're just bringing up that ridiculous aspect of it. And I'm like, listen, repeat after me, everyone. No one is responsible for a grown man's actions but himself. I don't care what happens. How you react is all on the person that is reacting. And, with aside from assault or punching someone in the face, that's about It's about the opposite of what should be, how it should be handled.
Here
Wow.
is what this is from the Sporting News. Ben Roethlisberger's continual blasting of
Oh,
Antonio
Jesus.
Brown
I
in
didn't hear
team
that.
meetings is what led to their blow up,
Oh my gosh.
according to Pro Football Talk. Former NFL receiver James Jones, who is to me is a massive jackass, said
Yeah.
Roethlisberger would make snide remarks to Brown, not just in meetings, but on the practice field too.
Oh my. Wow. How soft have
Quote,
some of these people gotten these days?
I have talked to a couple people in the Steelers organization, and they told me this has been lingering on, Jones said. I've been told in meetings Roethlisberger would take shots at AB. Like, I don't got to throw you the ball, and things like that.
Yeah, because I'm sure Ben just blurts that out.
Wednesday in
Randomly.
practice, I heard he ran the wrong routes. Big Ben threw the ball on the ground and said, quote, get him out of here. Get somebody else in there. And that's when AB was at his boiling point, and that's when went off. Oh, come on.
Very, very, very well dramatic reading there, I must
First
say.
of all, thank you. I'm up for a Golden Globe next year.
Yes, you're up for a baggie.
And a baggie, yeah. Okay. So he's telling AB, I don't got to throw you the ball. First of all, great grammar there, Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, right.
But
that might be the only thing he's guilty of.
The thing about Ben and AB or Antonio Brown is, yeah, you got to throw him the ball. You have to.
In
he
AB's
is
mind,
such a diva that he insists on being part of the offense even when, and if you don't, he pouts and does nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. I think that his pouting, it's happened. I think it gets exaggerated some, but it definitely happens. So, that forces catering to him, which could affect games, which you've seen where, what they say, 10 of Ben's interceptions were throws to Antonio Brown. Something like
Probably.
that. So yeah, I mean, I saw that somewhere.
Ben hasn't been perfect. I mean, what didn't he lead the league in interceptions or something like that? But then again, he led the league in interceptions because he threw so damn much.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the interceptions per pass attempt, I don't know how much difference. Probably highest because I don't know. It might be. It depends on the the pass attempts. I know Andrew Luck had one less interception, but you don't hear anyone talking about how many interceptions he threw because the Colts made the playoffs. So that's really the biggest difference, and the Steelers didn't. But I also saw it was the lowest interception league lead in like I don't know how many years. A long time, 40 years maybe or something like that.
What, the lowest in the amount of different?
Like the league leading interception amount of being 16 was like the lowest that led the league, like ever or something, or in however many years. So most people usually throw 20 or more interceptions. I'm not sure why that happened this year, why it was lower, unless the offenses are doing a lot more safer passes, like taking less chances, dinking and dunking, the West Coast stuff.
Ryan Clark has been amazing during this whole thing, and I mean he has a very unique perspective because he was on some of those teams.
He played with AB, isn't that locker room?
So. I mean, he's the one that said, as soon as you gave him that contract, you created this monster. But still, I mean, what are you gonna do? Not give him the contract? Let him walk? I mean, you got 6 years of all pro play from the guy. I'd take that.
Yeah, I mean, he's had the best 6 years of any wide receiver span. Yeah. Statistically, even better than Rice. If you take his best 6, so.
Here's what Ryan Clark's, or part of what he said. What you don't do is, if you're my teammate, you don't show up on Saturday. You have your agent call Mike T. Mike T tells you it doesn't work like that. You show up in a mink coat and you leave at halftime when I'm fighting for my life, right? He walked out. He walked out on his teammates. He quit.
Yeah, he pulled a LeGarrette Blount, except he wasn't a backup running back, so they were